Hey guys, GhazzyTV here with another Path of Exile video. That we're going to talk about loot drops or item drops in Path of Exile 3.19 Lake of Calandra. There's been a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this. So they made a Reddit post obviously about this as well, and a response is saying that I'm not convinced that this will be enough. But instead of complaining, I'd be looking forward to actually try it out. So basically, I didn't want to complain before trying it out. And a lot of people started complaining beforehand because of what we expected is exactly what happened. Because the problem is that if they take away like 90% of our loot, and then they buff that with 25%, that means instead of 10% of the loot, we get 12.5% of the loot, right? Because the numerical value is based on the current value. Well, the increased modifiers they're putting into our loot is based on the current value. So these increase or global increase drop rate by a unique item of 33%, that is based off the current value that there was nerfed before. And then this is 25% base drop of 25%. That's based on the new value, which is already after the nerf, which means it's terrible, right? That's how we perceive it. So people were complaining about this before it was even launched. And I said, you know what? Maybe this time they won't do it. So instead of just jumping on the gun and starting bitching and moaning and complaining, I said, you know what? Let's just let the patch come. We'll play test it, and then we'll complain. Because what's the point in complaining before we test it? Maybe they didn't do it this time. Maybe they did give it a flat base rate, you know, whatever, right? But no, what we all expected happened. I've now played the game for about 5 hours, and I can honestly say that I am actually seeing a difference. I really am. I am experiencing and seeing a difference. I still don't see any point in farming maps because it just feels so bad. The only time I end up looting a lot of items is when a unique monster is in there, like exiles, or a rare Archnemesis spits out like a bunch of 6-socket items. That's the only times I'm actually filling my inventory. Like the Archnemesis has to be there and popping up a big explosion of loot. And that doesn't happen every map. That happens very rarely. That those lines up perfectly for me to achieve that from happening. So all in all, the current state of item drops is, in my opinion, absolutely dog shit. It's terrible and it's disgusting, and I don't have to go into the whole topic of them not pointing one of the biggest loot changes or drop changes in the entire fucking game to not be in the patch notes. We already tackled that. Reddit is taking care of that in the most vile way possible. But then again, it's Reddit, so that's to be expected, I guess. So without going into that dark hole, I decided to just say that I don't like the changes. I have play tested it. I have tested it, and I don't like it. Okay? I don't like it. I really hope they're going to reevaluate the decisions of doing this. Tons of streamers have stopped playing or stopped streaming as playing in Path of Exile because it's just literally the fun is taken away. And I think that is rather important. A lot of people have been asking me when I'm going to quit or if I'm going to quit. And the answer is very simple. For me, mainstreaming is Path of Exile. And secondly, I've waited 6 years to have a functional poison minion build. I got that this time. I'm actually having fun in the league. I really am genuinely having fun. So despite all of the negativity around these things, I am having fun. I think that me having fun has a lot to do with the way I generate currency is to never farm for my currency. I craft my currency, I run service runs, I do endgame bosses. That's where my currency coming from, and my upgrades are coming from me crafting them myself. So I'm not really affected as much by the item drops as the majority of the player base actually is. I don't have a problem with it, even if it makes the maps really boring to run. I can imagine someone who doesn't make currency the way I do would not just have a boring time, but would also struggle big time with actually achieving anything in the game, which is why a lot of people are stopping to play, and I fully understand that. I have full respect for the streamers who are stopping to stream it as well. That's their choice. I also believe that if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you should stop. If you don't enjoy playing the game, play something else. GGG needs to, you know, actually take the fucking wheel and steer the car out of this shit. It feels like right now that we're taking the short bus to work or to school. And it's like, it's just weird to me that we're experiencing this when GGG could just, you know, not take the short bus and put us in the big proper one and, you know, get us there in a nice way, and everybody can have a good time and banter on our way to school, right? But that's not what's happening. We're getting a baseline fundamental structure of the foundation of the game that is just so lackluster. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Outside of that, I mentioned on the Reddit post that I find the lack of faith disturbing. Faith being mentions of minions. Because there's no mentions of minions at all, which basically, to me, sounds like they are perfectly fine and refuse to acknowledge that there are minion survivability issues in the higher tier content, and they seem to be fine with that state of minions in the game. Now, I've managed to bypass a lot of these problems by pouring a lot of currency onto my character. I currently have Bob the Third, and something that has been quite a hot topic in the last couple of days around now is my enemy guardians. The first two enemy guardians that died have both proven to actually face tank uber endgame bosses. In 3.19, they both died to 0 damage modded tier 16 maps. I have put so much currency on Bob the Third that I don't even want to mention it, including a 2120 Divergent Anime Guardian. There are 3 things left in the entire game that I can do to make him survive better. I'll also have a Gloam Ring on the left slot, by the way. The 3 things I can do is get him Indomitable Army. That's only fist mitigation. He's not going to die to fist damage. The second thing I can do is get Decay Award. This is not worth it, because this will only give him a % chance to survive the bigger hits, right? And the times these have died has been from consecutive multiple hits around, and this could potentially save that, but blocking is not a guaranteed survival. This is not mitigation in that sense. This is just preventing a % chance to prevent damage. So this is not going to work either. The third thing I can do, which it seems like GGD wants us to do to make our minions survive, is to give our minions our shield so that we as a player become a piece of paper, and we'll die and have a really boring time playing, because we will die and die and die and die. But at least our minions will have a little bit better stats because we can give them our shield. Those are the only 3 things left in the entire game that is feasible outside of the massive, obnoxious investments that I have put on the Enemy Guardian to make him survive. So far, he has managed to survive it. I am one of the very few people in the community that in the current state of the game is able to invest this much into the Enemy Guardian. The majority of the player base doesn't do this. But I did. And I'm still scared of him dying. And that is absolutely obnoxious that it's in that state. So again, to not spend too much time talking about minions in this loot discussion video, I just wish they would acknowledge that there is a problem with them, and they're not. And with them not acknowledging this, feels to me that they're fine with it, and I'm not okay with that. I'm genuinely tilted about it, and for the first time in many years, I actually lost my fucking shit in a previous video I made. Anyways, I also agree, to go back on the main topic, I agree that the loot drop is a more pressing matter, and that it is a more important topic to deal with. All I want is for them to acknowledge that there is a problem, so that we know that they will actually at least look into it once the more dire problems such as loot is being taken care of. Which the TLDR result for me is, it's not okay. That's all I have for you today. Please keep it civil in the chat, boys, in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys feel about it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content. It really helps out the channel. We have gotten 32% of you guys watching the video with subscribe. We're like 35% now. So I really appreciate you guys subscribing. It really helps the channel. But guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So until then, stay safe and keep rocking.